Wait, so you weren't recording all that?
No.
No, but I was just talking about...
Oh. Well, you want to talk about it now? Now that we're right here? Just quick recap?
Wander was wandering around, and we went back to the spot where the Eevee's evolution spawned, and there was Leafeon. And I was just describing how when I was an elementary schooler, and the first generation had come out, and there were the evolutions, Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon, and then later in Silver and Gold, they had Espeon and Umbreon. I remember one of the... I suppose you would refer to them as Fakemon nowadays, but one of the speculative Pokemon that I had created as a child was a grass-type evolution, and I named it Leafeon, which is funny because years and years later, they have a Leafeon as well. Mine was similar. I believe I had drawn it as a child where it was primarily green, but then it had 3 leaves on its head like an Articuno. And I don't remember if I had like vines as a tail or additional leaves, but it was cute. And at the time I named it Leafeon because, well, you didn't want to say Gracian or what of the other things had been Ivyon. You can't use it really because there was Ivysaur. I suppose if I had known more Latin at the time, I could have called it Sylveon, but guess what? They made a Sylveon that was fairy type much later too. But Leafeon just made sense because at the time, you know, with the Pokemon cards, they just have the leaf as the grass symbol. So Leafeon. Number 202. This Pokemon's tail is blade sharp, with a fantastic cutting edge that can slice right through large trees. That's a weird thing for a Leafeon to do.
Give Leafeon a nickname.
So
yes, do.
It's a lady. So... what should we call her? I mean, we're just going...
Let's call her Leah?
Leah? Why? Or just because
Roscoe?
you want to... you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was there an A?
Yeah.
Or AH?
Yeah, it was that.
Okay.
But that looks like Lee, but...
I think that was it. I don't remember if there's an H there. Well, whatever. Also, hey, Stumped Friends and Associated Raiders, how you guys doing?
Hello.
We are just getting started with the last session of Pokemon Sword and Shield.
As
Shield
far
specifically. As far as we know.
There could be an
there could be more to this,
endgame,
but like...
Or another side plot that's going to extend for hours more.
Yeah, a very quick recap for those of you that... small spoilers. Well, no, big spoilers, I guess, if you care about them for Pokemon.
So, the entire game, we've been speculating
well,
that Rose
let's not even...
has his...
No. Let's stop for a second.
What?
Okay. So I just want to let people, filter out if they're really afraid of spoilers for this.
Oh, okay.
And no, that's good enough. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that people get the message. Because there might be people that have to deal with ads or something, and that would be bad. Anyway, so you were saying.
So I was saying, throughout this whole game, we've been speculating as to what the Dynamaxing is, how it could be harnessed as a power source. Magnolia at the very beginning of the game expressed a concern about Dynamaxing, and
we don't know anything about it yet. We're using it a lot. This is probably bad. And everybody's
Rose
like,
obviously has this whole gym system and the energy production based around it to an extent, or at least that was our assumption. And then, of course, we find out that it's connected to the Darkest Day, and that the ancient heroes, which were potentially Pokemon...
Oh my god, I've got a Magikarp on this fight.
They banish the Darkest Day, evil, whatever it could be, some potential entity, if even. But it's interesting because throughout the game, Rose has been referring to the Dynamaxing. We've been learning more about how it's related to the Darkest Day, etc., etc. But there's an inkling that all isn't well and that something has come to Rose's attention that needs to be discussed. Leon keeps vanishing here and there, but everyone is oh so excited about the prospect of you making it to the final round and fighting the champion that, oh, never mind that there are random bouts of Pokemon Dynamaxing in the wild and, wreaking havoc upon civilians. Just go back and, beat more of the gyms. prepare for the final fight, right?
Yep.
So we get there, and sure enough, it's interrupted. Actually, before we get there, we're waiting for Leon to arrive so that we can go to dinner with his brother Hop. And he doesn't arrive, so we have the help of Marnie and her older brother to track down these league staff. And they're ordered by Oleana to prevent us from reaching the top of the tower. And
yeah, effectively, the champion, Hop's older brother, is just like, yeah, I can't meet up with you for dinner. I got a meeting, I have a surprise meeting with the chairman.
With Chairman Rose,
and the two main characters are just like, oh shit, something dirty's going down.
We need to get to the top of the tower.
We're going to invade this whole company to figure out what's up. And it's such a weird, strange...
But Oleana and her goons didn't make it any better.
No.
Because they tried to keep the key away from you by fleeing.
Then they immediately show up and are like, neener, neener, we're not letting you in. And it's like, what?
We're going to...
What?
We're going to advertise our company's services. All the while, you know, giving you random facts about the tower and its construction.
I honestly couldn't tell if it was some bizarre marketing ploy or if it was, like, a legit, like, attempt at stopping us. I still can't tell.
And then Oleana had a break.
Yeah, and then she freaked out a little bit at us. So it's like, okay, maybe this is real, but I guess it doesn't matter.
And then when we finally find Leona and Rose is expressing his concern about how 1,000 years from now there'll be something catastrophic, and with their energy consumption being the way it is, you know, they won't last long and such. And we're going, oh, has this turned into a conservation piece or about finding green energy or other resources? Because clearly Dynamaxing is there, it's harnessing something that's as of yet unknown and quite sinister, or with a sinister past that no one seems to acknowledge except for historians that are well versed in the darkest day. But the interesting thing is, what was it? Leon was trying to argue with him, saying, oh, but, you know, that's 1,000 years from now. It shouldn't concern us now. Let's just keep battling in league championship fights, you know? And we thought that perhaps he was just setting it off like most people do when it comes to things. The procrastination or the rationale that it's not going to affect you, so you don't have to be concerned by it. Right?
Yeah.
But in any case, we're dismissed, and it's definitely implied that Rose is going to take things into his own hands if no one else is going to listen to him. And we are able to fight our way through the league, which was comprised of gym leaders, which we actually liked.
Yeah, like
we
the way
that
they handled
the
gym challenge and league plot for this game is by and far better than any other Pokemon game, in my opinion. Because like the league actually makes sense and matters and is integrated into the world.
Because it's the best trainers of every type or town coming together and having a competition amongst themselves, with whomever is able to make it in from the public too.
Yep. And I thought that was actually a really cool system. And
in any case, we were about to fight Leon, and then, of course, an interruption.
Yeah, the chairman's like, yo, because you didn't want to set off Doomsday early, I set off Doomsday early without you. And now we have to go fix it. It's like, you could have just waited a day and all of us would have helped. Literally everyone.
Wait. You were saying that he wanted to set it off we know that he wanted to set it off intentionally, but we didn't know that was his original plan.
But he absolutely wanted Leon's help, or not, yeah, Leon's help. Mm-hmm. Like, he was just like, you know, you gotta help me on this. This is bigger than either of us, and like, we need to do this.
Yes, but he kept saying that it was 1,000 years from now.
Well, yeah, Leon was like, yeah, by the way, this is gonna happen like ages from now. Like, we don't need to rush this. And Rose is just like, no, we gotta do something today.
You see, I thought they were going to discuss alternative ways to...
No, I think Leon kind of knew already. It just, you know,
why is he keeping everything from Sonia? That's just... Well, in any case, we'll find out his motivations soon enough. You see, I assumed that, like any great villain, you would have a guy who realizes that he's employing the use of potentially dark and cosmic entities or magics, and he would intentionally try to open a rift so that he could get even more power. But that doesn't really seem to be his goal.
No, he seems to be a good-intentioned person, which is why this all bothers me, because it just feels so hasty. Yeah, I'm gonna lose this one again. Torkoal is just too tanky, and all of my allies are not.
He does realize, though, that if he starts the Darkest Day again and we beat it back, what will that mean? Does he want to capture what makes the Darkest Day so that they have an infinite source of energy for all time?
I think he's trying to harness what the thing that Dynamaxes Pokemon, and he's trying to turn that into an alternative power source, which is actually kind of brilliant. I mean, it's not too far off of like nuclear energy. It's just like he's doing it without controlled testing or small scale stuff. He's just like, nope, going full scale.
You see, I always thought that the gyms were already grabbing the Dynamaxing power.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think they were?
No.
I originally thought that Dynamax was the power source.
No, I think that's the goal.
That's his goal. He wants to make Dynamaxing a power source.
Yeah. And so that's why we're having issues. I keep forgetting. Fly is not a thing anymore. Alright, well, I'm not beating that Torkoal, so let's go back home. And let's beat this game. Because we've got enough people hanging out at this point that I won't feel guilty.
Yeah, and then the team in this is just a bunch of softies who are... They just really want Marnie and her older brother to bring... What was the town called again?
Spike?
Spikemouth?
Yeah,
oh,
Spikemouth.
Spikemouth back into good standing.
Yeah, because it didn't have a Dynamax spot, so nobody was showing up because it wasn't cool enough. Which is dumb.
Sad. Yeah, I know. We were discussing how the society's priorities are completely skewed towards Pokemon.
Oh, hey, it's
Could you
Grubbin.
imagine if the world revolved around pets rather than people? And
yeah,
in a way it does to some
kind
people.
of, but it would be like if like a considerable amount of the world was scaled around what's a good example?
Horses. Let's do horses.
I was just gonna say the puppy bowl.
The puppy bowl?
Yeah. And so
I was thinking of dressage and jumping
and
racing for horses.
This town doesn't have a very good puppy bowl stadium. Well, never going there ever.
And there's just no economy for...
Yeah, no economy. Or like dog racing. Actually, that might be a better example.
Well, this is why I mentioned horses, because you can have dressage horses, you can have jumping horses, and you can also have racing horses.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But
I guess,
imagine if everyone had a horse.
I guess for me, dog racing is a little bit
their
more,
horses.
more poignant, because I know my grandfather would spend way too much money on dog racing.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many Grubbin's little Pokemon.
So many squirrels.
I do not need to fight. Do you think they get lost in the mist? Or are they just trapped here?
Oh, is this the clearing again?
Yep.
Are we getting close to it?
Probably. Let's see. Speaking of, I should probably put Kaiju in front.
Did you save?
I've saved recently-ish, but I can save again.
Oh, hey, it's that ladybug thing.
That is.
And a full-blown...
Yeah,
whatever.
so these are some new Pokemon, higher level Pokemon. I like the Weezing evolution.
Yeah, why? But why is he out in the middle of the woods?
Why do you think it's so misty in here? It's just him farting up the joint.
Oh, there's a ball back there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get back to it.
Is it on the right, or you have to take the right route? What is that?
Oh, it's a Munna.
Oh, I love them. They were so cute.
Munnas are cute. I don't want to catch anything though.
Oh,
At least I don't want to put effort into catching anything.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like, I will actually admit, like, Rose's plan makes plenty of sense to me. It's just the way it's portrayed in-game currently.
We don't want any spoilers. We're going to find out.
We don't need any spoilers, but, like, I will say, the man has a plan, and I actually am super down for it. I almost think it would have been cooler to some degree if they'd, if you were given a chance, like, give up on your league dreams and help out Rose or something. And that goes down, like, the golden pathway to some, like, a more interesting plot where, yeah, you have to, like, shut this stuff down, but I don't know.
They weren't going to have diverging plots.
No, they're not, but it would have been cool.
Mm-hmm.
No, most of my beefs are just with the presentation, not necessarily with the message and idea. Because, like, if Elon Musk showed up and said, hey, I'm going to save the world, but it's going to, like, wreck everything tomorrow unless you help me. And I'm like, but I need, like, surgery tomorrow. And they're like, he's like, well, it can't wait. And I'm like, but can it? You sure? He's like, no. I know this is a bad example, but still.
Nah, it'd be akin to some guy advocating for population control and then proceeding to start a war.
Ish? But I don't think he started the war. And he's not trying to, like, do population control. He straight up is just like, I've created nuclear energy. Just chucks a bunch of nuclear...
But yes, but he created nuclear energy, but he's going to bring about a bunch of aggressive giant Pokemon.
Well, he doesn't necessarily know that. He thinks, well, this would be like, it's like if I discovered that, like, yeah, you can use radioactive stuff to create energy, so I just chuck a bunch of uranium in a pile and set it on fire. Like, that's not scientific or smart. That's wildly unsafe and...
Ooh, there was something on that other side.
Yeah, but I can't get to it. I have to go around. And, like, my biggest issue is just, like, from a... Well, it's up here, Shell.
Yeah, I know. I'm awing at all the Drifloons or whatever they're called. Not Drifloons. Munas.
I mean, I can catch a Muna if you really want me to.
Phantom Force.
Oh, hey. That's the ghost fly.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. Team Yell is a bunch of hooligans, not antagonists. Yup.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, heck, you're almost immediately given reason to, like, sympathize with them more than anything else. Because their town's straight up dying, and so they're just trying to interfere slightly. Not even in a bad way.
And Marnie and her brother are really nice people.
Team Skull was the same, and they're great. We should go back and probably finish Sun and Moon at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It was so easy, I just had no motivation for it. Like, I one-shot my way...
Unfortunately, the hours and hours of tutorial doing the exact same things that we had done for 20 years wasn't appreciated. At least in this game, they gave you the option to push forward without the tutorialization if you just knew about types, if you knew about how to access things and where to go and what to do. How to catch a Pokemon. You didn't have to go through the tutorial all over again. Dream Eater Pokemon. It eats dreams and releases mist. The mist is pink when it's eating a good dream and black when it's eating a nightmare. Interesting. What are you calling it?
Nibbler.
What? Why Nibbler?
You got a better idea?
Yume.
Y-U-M-E?
Mm-hmm. It means dream.
Yum.
Oh, you're thinking yummy. Yummy. No, but...
I know.
Yume means dream.
I know. But it looks like yum. Sort of. Oh, Stunfisk again. What's with this fog? It's even worse than the first time we came here.
Both of them.
They really are here. The Sword and Shield Pokemon, I knew it. Hey, where are you going? We need your help over here.
You too? What in the world are you doing?
What? Come off it, Sonia. You must have seen that, right? Those Sword and Shield Pokemon, they're right in front of us. But then they disappeared into the forest.
Hop, you sure you haven't lost the plot? There was no one there but the two of you.
What? Were those just illusions or something?
No, only the Chosen can see the Sword and Shield.
Yep.
You're like the Chosen heroes.
Yep.
Listen, I dug into some literature from the regions and finally found something. Or from other regions. Mentions of the Sword Pokemon, Zacian, and the Shield Pokemon, called Zamazenta. The writing said that those two Pokemon were born somewhere beyond the Slumbering Weald. Some time long, long ago.
Did they really? Da, Sonia, thanks for digging into it. Even if it's just an illusion or whatever, we did manage to find that Pokemon again. Maybe the Sword and Shield that those two used to carry are still here too.
Will she say anything?
I was just gonna check that.
Zacian and Zamazenta. They may have been sleeping in the slumbering Weald right next to your hometown all this time. Perhaps that's why no one has entered the deepest parts of these woods for so long.
Let's see, have you missed any plot since the stream started? That was the first and only bits of plot we've done so far. So good news for you, I guess. Ooh. I appreciate the cutscenes. They're not much, but I appreciate that they exist.
Oh, and that's the stone. And the archway. But there were two stones there before. Why is there only one now?
Would you look at that, Mia? Now that's something you don't see every day. This place definitely feels like the stuff of legend. For a second I thought there was a fish on the stone right in front of the grave.
Oh. Are they toys or are they old and broken?
Look old and broken, more so. See that, Mia? The Sword and Shield, the legends really were true.
You obtained a rusted shield. It is said that a hero used this shield to halt a terrible disaster in ancient times, but it's grown rusty and worn.
That settles it. I'm taking the sword. Though, wow, would you look at the state of this thing? It seems like it might fall to pieces if you so much as look at it funny. I don't know if these rusty old things will really be able to stop the darkest day, but, well, I guess it can't hurt to have them along. Let's hope they bring us some good luck. Maybe the Pokemon themselves are really still asleep somewhere. So, it seems we're on our own if we want to go help Lee. This is all the help we got.
But it looks like there's a spot on the stone for the sword and the shield.
Yeah. They do not apply critical thinking to these children. They have none. I mean, our character has just been following other people's directions this entire time. If we were properly able to think for ourselves, we probably would have just started, like, going on way more wild crusades or something.
I wonder what you get by fishing.
Magikarp. Zamazenta.
It's not going to be in the water. Ooh.
Whiskash.
Whiskash. Don't know if I've ever seen those before.
Boom burst.
What generation were they from?
Gen 4?
Ah, and that's one of the ones I didn't play. So I never got a Game Boy Advance.
Gen 4 was DS.
Ah, but I never had a DS either.
I think DS was the height. 3DS probably had the better things, but boy, I just loved my DS.
Yeah.
I think it's because my 3DS was just heavy. I can play for hours on end on my DS and be okay.
If we had gotten the normal 3DS as opposed to the extra larges,
yeah,
then maybe it would have been okay.
Yeah, it didn't look as nice though. I have kind of the same problem with the Switch. It's like, I know some people play it in handheld, but that's just hard for me.
Now, I only had the Game Boy Pocket, and then, well, I got a Game Boy Color much, much later so that I could trade between my silver and blue version. But that was long after DS's and Game Boy Advances had been out. And then we really didn't... Before X and Y, we ended up getting the extra large 3DS's together.
Yep.
So we could play that.
And I don't regret that. And I'm glad we had the 3DS's. They just weren't...
We also used our convention money to purchase those too.
It was a bit wasteful, but it felt so good. Because I was... Oh, that's Motostoke. That was like one of the first times that we had really earned a whole lot of money
game system?
throughout our... Well, yeah, kind of. You know, I'd had jobs previously, but it wasn't like... You know, it was just a job. Oh, it's Raihan. Well, if it isn't me and Hop, it's a real shame the way things have turned out. You made it all the way to the championship match, and then something like this had to happen. Chairman Rose thinking that the energy pouring from the darkest day would somehow be the key to saving Galar's future. All seems a bit mad if you ask me. I can't follow at all how that's supposed to work. I don't care if I'm up against the darkest day or chairman or whatever. I'm going ahead. I'm off to help my brother.
Yeah, so he really did just release the wellspring of power.
And he's gone. That Hop never changes. Always in a rush about something, isn't he? Key thing is no one's been harmed. We gym leaders worked together with the city's Pokemon. We got everyone evacuated. And you're fixing to help our champion, to save everyone in the Galar region. Pick. Pick.
Okay, fixing to help our champion, save everyone in the Galar region. I mean, of course, but...
Okay. I guess you're not voice acting for our main character.
Oh.
Not that there's much.
Of course I am.
Like, I need you to be kind of paying attention.
Sorry, it's just our character says oh so very little.
Yeah, she really doesn't. Our greatest ever champion and the greatest ever challenger, along with her fiercest rival, all teaming up against the darkest day. I almost feel sorry for it. Go on, our great challenger, into Hammerlock Stadium with you.
She's just pacing. Gym Challenger, you must help me. I mean, please, help me. My Pokemon suddenly Dynamaxed for some reason and started running amok in the stadium. Mr. Raihan, was able to subdue the Dynamax Pokemon in the stadium, but... if other Pokemon also Dynamax and go on a rampage, the underground power plant could collapse. Mr. Rose is down there right now. I know this is selfish of me, but I must beg your assistance. I want you to head to the underground power plant and stop Mr. Rose. Mr. Rose has awakened a Pokemon known as Eternatus. Apparently. Do you think Eternatus sounds okay? Or an Eternatus?
Probably Eternatus, as in eternity.
Yeah, Eternatus. Apparently, the energy emitted from its body is what's causing Dynamaxing. At this rate, all the Pokemon in the Galar region will Dynamax and go berserk. If that were to happen... Please, you must save Mr. Rose. You can take the lift over there to reach him. I've enlisted the help of the champion's younger brother too, but who knows what is going on.
Oh, hey.
People are deliberating over whether or not Eternatus or Eternatus
It's
sounds
definitely
better.
Eternatus. What is all this? We need to help Lee. And what do you plan on doing, Gym Challenger?
helping the champion... Wait, where is he? Where is he?
We don't know.
I mean, we want to stop the darkest day, but we're also sworn to help the champion. But what's he going to say to that? Your champion. You know, he's not here.
Yeah. So let's go with helping the champion.
Mm-hmm. Helping the champion.
I'm afraid I can't allow that. The champion is the one who needs to control Eternatus. Must I explain myself from your perspective? I suppose it must seem that what I'm doing is, seem that I'm doing something terrible. I don't expect you to understand, but I must provide the Galar region with limitless energy to ensure everlasting prosperity. It is my purpose, my duty, my destiny. And that's why we've been giving the wishing stars to Eternatus. Surely you remember the red light that caused a ruckus around Hammerlock. That was all part of our experiments to awaken Eternatus. You must understand, I cannot allow you to interfere with my plan to protect the future of Galar. You could have just waited a day. Just a day.
But then the problem would have been, you would have been made champion.
So?
Or something.
We would have been better than Leon. Or he could have just had Leon do it anyway, as the not champion.
Or he should have explained what he was doing. Well, but the thing is that he was keeping it a secret because awakening an ancient, potentially vile entity.
It would make
not
sense
gonna be taken well.
to either like have us be the smokescreen champion while Leon deals with Eternatus and doesn't have to have the limelight on him. You know?
Mm. You are challenged by Macrocosmos's Rose. He sent out is Cavalier.
Bug Steel, I think?
Mm-hmm. I remember him. Oh, this is cool music.
Kaiju is admiring the view.
I mean, all those light bulbs, they're
Fair
mesmerizing.
You're pretty tough. Yes, entirely too tough. Don't you think that's unfair? Ow.
Oh!
It's okay.
Unless this is a battle you're supposed to lose.
No, I'm not supposed to lose this. That was just
Bad
a
typing.
heavy hit. Yeah.
Mhm.
I outnumber him by 1, and I've got Snom. Like,
Snom.
I don't think Pokemon has a single fight that you can't win.
That is true. In numerous action-adventure games, there are fights that are intentionally supposed to be unbeatable, just so to push the plot in the direction they want.
Yep.
Dragon Rush better than...
Only marginally. Bad accuracy, though. I don't really like either of these moves. Link Clang.
Link Clang.
It's steel. I don't know if it's more than steel.
Oh, so it's another gear.
Yep. Pyro Ball.
Are all of his Pokemon gonna be steel? Potentially? Seeing as how he's...
It's probably a lot of steel and industrial types-ish. Maybe? Ferrothorn. Iron Grass. Or Steel Grass. Keep current Pokemon.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, he does have a lot of
Steel
steel
Grass.
types.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Steel Grass is the worst thing you can send out.
yeah, I mean, this is gonna hurt Kazma a bit, but, like, worth it.
Because it's thorny.
Yeah. Yeah, it does damage back if, you hit him physically, I believe. Maybe not?
It probably doesn't do it if he faints first.
I mean, it's based on whatever the special ability it has is. Berserker.
Berserker.
It's also steel. It's the Meowth.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, King Kazma is just kind of like, well,
I'll melt you down.
yeah, this is pretty easy business.
Scrap.
I got this bit down.
Now, are scraps slag or is melted metal slag?
Oh, down to my last Pokemon. This isn't looking good.
Paparaja.
I have no idea what its typing is, but Pyro Ball.
Uh-oh.
I'll show you a move that'll hit so hard you'll be speechless.
Oh, he's Dynamaxing.
Yeah, he is. I like the idea of
ridiculous.
a giant kind of coppery elephant. But all I see
Can't
is
even
nose.
see it. Yeah.
And it's when you do see the rest of it, you're like, it's just kind of square.
I think it's supposed to be look more like a vessel.
I guess. I don't know. I've forgotten how great Pokemon battles are. It's been so long since I battled. That sure was satisfying. Pure Steel. Okay. Most impressive, Mia. I wouldn't expect any less from a challenger endorsed by the strongest champion to ever grace our beloved Galar region. I really do wish I could have seen the championship match between you two, and I'm terribly sorry to have ruined the whole gym challenge and everything. But it's too bad. Can't be helped. In order to solve the energy issue as soon as possible, we awakened Eternatus, but we couldn't control it. The champion came to aid me, even at the cost of abandoning the match. Indeed, just like a knight in shining armor coming in to rescue a princess from a dragon.
So where is he?
I do tend to ramble on, I know. I love to make speeches, but I think I can stop talking now. I think the champion should have captured Eternatus by now. If you're curious, you can take the lift up. And I trust you'll be going too, right, Hop? I certainly hope losing to me didn't discourage you too much. Go on now, both of you. See how our champion is doing. Discouraged? You don't get it, do you, champion? Or, chairman. Neither me nor my Pokemon are anywhere near giving up. We've learned how to be strong thanks to the gym challenge you organized.
Can you see what the machine is?
Of course I won't stop you. Head up via the lift if you wish. I mean, it looks like it was just in this creepy egg thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Who do you name your rival in this Pokemon game? Nope.
Nope.
He's Hop. Alright, Mia. I'm ready for anything. Are you?
Of course, unless you need to heal people up.
Wouldn't expect any less from my rival. Now, come on. We gotta help Lee.
What do you think's gonna have happened to Leon? Will he have been beaten? Will he have quote-unquote captured it, but it ends up overpowering him or possessing him? What do you think the outcome is going to be when we go up there?
I don't know.
Maybe he'll have failed because he doesn't have the Sword or Shield.
One way or another. I think it's time to pit one Titan against another.
I wonder what Eternatus's typing is.
Chump. What the?
Yep. Some kind of space dragon monster.
Yep. Steel dragon, maybe? Dark dragon? Question mark? You came to help me in spite of the danger. Thanks, Hop. And you too, Mia. You two really have grown tremendously. But no need for you kids to worry. It seems like some power of Eternatus's was keeping my team from Dynamaxing, but we've all had a champion time all the same. Charizard and the rest of my champion team members have really worn Eternatus down. Now, if I can simply catch it in a Pokeball, we should be able to get this madness under control, and everything will be back to normal. So watch this. It's going to be a real champion catch. Oh, Poison Dragon. Oh, that would make Fairy not so hot. Why would you chuck a regular Pokeball?
What?
You yachts?
That can't possibly. Just don't breathe. Oh no, it burst forth.
I had busted the ball.